We haven't done a live show together, other than the ones we do for clients. Like we do a bunch of like on location stuff at Kelsey's, a 3 times a year. That's funny.
Get a couple spin dips going for free. What are they paying you? Are they paying you?
We get a couple what?
Spinach dips?
Yeah.
You get half.
No, they
half
pay
off
us
wings all week.
Seriously, it's funny you say that. All we get are wings.
Oh, it is wings.
We get some wings, but we can't get more than just a couple of carrot sticks. All right, so
we just talk for a little bit, and then when we say no, but seriously though.
And what is the name of the show?
No, but seriously though.
No, but like seriously, what is the name of the show?
No, but seriously though. So when we say that, we'll
with
do
CJ.
Are you two brothers? I don't think you're brothers.
That's what everybody says. I'm going to make him introduce you. He'll do your credits.
Our milkman was so tall, he was crazy.
Seriously,
our milkman was bald, obviously too.
But are you younger? Let me guess.
Sure.
I'm going to say that you, CJ, are younger than Dave.
Yeah, but it's by a lot too. Yeah. 5 years. So when you say, am I holding it in the right spot?
Yeah, you're good.
Even when you're.
By the way, can we swear on this show?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You can do more than that.
What's more than that?
You can take your pants
slurs,
off.
I guess.
No, like,
helicopter.
I feel like slurs.
What a weird thing. Yeah, can you swear on the show? You can do more than that. You can fuck a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, what is more than swearing to you, CJ?
We're gonna find out.
Pulling your dick out, probably. You don't have to do that.
Well, I don't have to, but at some point, here's the thing: if I'm really having a good time, I'll probably just take it out.
You've probably jacked off in here.
Oh, easily.
100%. 100%. This is a great. Your issue is the window situation.
I don't even. That's not an issue for me.
That's why he's going.
That's going to happen from time to time. Wait a second. You think the fact that people could watch me beat off is an issue for you, Dave? You don't know me. You kidding me?
You know what the listeners are?
I go live when I do it. I go live.
Yeah.
Go to the Humble and Fred Facebook page. Just hit one button. I'm live.
That's how you got all that traffic coming through.
Exactly. That is exactly
so
it.
you maintain an audience.
So, listen, I appreciate you guys having me. Thanks for coming in. Are you drinking alcohol?
Yeah. You're sober, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like to have a beer on the show.
Say again?
I like to have a beer on the show because we can. We can. It's
well. You could have a whole meal.
You can do whatever you want on this show, Howard.
How long does this go on?
You can have more than a beer.
How Yeah, you can swear and you can do heroin. How long does this thing go on?
1 hour.
Yeah,
because it already seems like it's. You guys have got enough, don't you?
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
You guys have got enough for your show. No, but seriously.
No, but seriously though.
Yeah,
we're with humble Howard Glassman.
Yo,
we're in Toronto at his studio. We're switching it up. We're at his studio today.
Yeah.
You might recognize him from CFNY, The Edge. Okay? It's a huge radio station in Canada. He's had the Humble and Fred show. He's one of the godfathers of podcasting in this country, along with Fred.
Yeah.
And they've been doing their podcast since, 2011?
This is our 15th year of doing a podcast. That's
crazy.
That's like the Wright brothers of podcasting. That's like... here's the thing. When we started, like, the only podcast, I think we talked about this before you record, the only podcast that was around, this is before Rogan, Mark Maron had started a couple years before us, maybe a year or two, and Adam Carolla had the biggest podcast in the world. Do you guys know who he is?
Yeah, he's still going.
Yeah. He's still going, yeah.
Why are there so many black people?
Yeah.
That's right.
He does say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Partner used to be?
Jimmy Kimmel.
From Man Show.
From the Man
right?
Show.
Yeah.
And so when Fred and I, my partner, life partner, we're doing the show at the Edge. I'm trying to think. I guess it was at Yonge and Shooter, which for your international listeners is like right downtown Toronto. We had both Kimmel and Carolla on the show.
What?
Promoting the Man Show.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have the fat little kid who sold the beer? That now
Andy Miller.
No, we did not.
That's not him.
Is it not?
That's a real kid.
Hang on, your mic's cutting out. 1 sec, Howard. 1 sec. Let me switch mics with you.
Why? What's wrong with my mic?
I think it's just a little.
Am I overpowering it? Yeah. Is my giant
That's
voice?
better.
Is that better for you guys?
It's this. I'll use current mic.
Okay.
Hang on.
And can you come a bit closer to us?
Can you?
No.
Can I come?
The window's open.
What is going on here?
That's after the show.
What is he out of frame?
A little bit.
Okay.
Where are you? Where is that? It's right there.
Yeah.
So I don't understand their setup here. You've got
Okay, so I bought a tripod.
that does it, but you're not using it.
It doesn't have the attachment that we need. No.
I got one. I could have given you one.
Well, that's
Damn it! You should have asked. We did come to your radio studio, first of all, and have to bring all of our own equipment, which is crazy.
Dude, if you'd have said the word, I would have just given you the SD card. By the way, for you people, SD is not what you think.
I thought it was a power move. I'm like, damn, this guy's
dude, balling. I would have said, I was honestly thinking, well, we could just record it here.
Well, I remember your old studio.
At the Wixon,
the old Wixon place.
Yeah.
That was a sweet studio.
It was a sweet studio.
You had the waiting room in there, and does Phil still work with you guys?
Phil, unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh no!
No, damn. I'm just kidding. he passed. We passed on Phil. You know what happened was when the I apologize for my voice. I've been talking since 6 this morning, so I'm a little hoarse. When the pandemic hit, we used to have this whole studio was filled with producers and interns and guests, and then the pandemic hit. We sent everybody home, and so for the first couple of months, we're doing the show on Zoom, and we're like, I'm not sure what we need Phil to do anymore, because he used to basically process the show and do all the production, and then we didn't need that anymore, and then Phil moved on to where a lot of people go after broadcasting. Yes, you guessed it, IKEA.
Is that where he works?
Yeah, we're pretty proud of that.
Oh, man.
We had a guy work for us for 10 years. 10 years,
dude.
10 years he works for us, and his next gig, IKEA.
He was probably just sick of it.
That's the kind of influence. That's the kind of
broadcasting?
influence that humble friend have.
He's like, hey, I got an idea. That's just what the fucking shirt says. That's
So
what the
you're
shirt says.
5 years younger than Dave Bishop?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on a second. That's Billy the dog.
Oh, this dog, we got it really quick. This fucking dog has 10,000 times more followers than me, I think it is.
Than everybody.
I have about 2,000. She has 220,000.
220,000. This dog, if you were this dog, you'd be too big to be here.
It's this dog?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was in New York.
Can you get the dog to collab the clips?
Did you just figure that out?
Yeah.
I was setting this up.
Yeah, he did just figure it out.
Okay, yes, this dog is my daughter's dog.
Oh, this is the
When
dog.
she moved to New York 6 years ago, whenever it was, 2018, just before the pandemic, she gets this dog. It's even crazier. And they decide to build this sort of funny little Instagram, is it an account, I guess?
Yeah.
And within a few months, it gathered a bunch of momentum because of like there's lots of pictures of dogs dressed up in clothes on the internet. But this whole bit was they never cop that the dog's a dog. They pretend that the dog's like a fashion influencer. And then they got a boost. This is a true story. Ariana Grande likes this account. So about 6 months into this dog journey, Ariana Grande and a bunch of people like that get the joke. She likes the thing, and it just takes off.
Wow.
But you ever see the show Mad Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John Stollery is the actor that plays Sterling, whatever, the white-haired guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that loves Chihuahuas. And he lives in New York, where my daughter was living. And they got this Chihuahua. They already had one, and the Chihuahuas didn't get along. So he puts this Chihuahua up for adoption, and it's this dog.
What? This was Sterling's dog?
This is Rich. Sterling's dog. So cut to about a year later, it's this phenomenon, bigger in New York.
That's why he was smoking a cigarette when we came in.
Well, it's only about 2, but it looks much older because of all the cigarette smoking. So Stollery's on Seth Meyers doing an appearance for some show he's on, and somebody on the Seth Meyers staff follows his account, and in the account, oftentimes there'll be a picture of the dog and a picture on like at a business desk, and there's a little picture on the desk of her dad, John Stollery.
Right.
So Seth Meyers springs this on Stollery. This is the dog you gave up for adoption.
That's crazy.
On the show?
On the show.
Damn, that's crazy.
Booby Billy.
Yeah,
So,
Can we just interview the dog instead?
You should. Seriously? The dog's falling asleep because the dog's reaction in this interview is what everyone's reaction is going to be. It's starting to fall asleep.
I just want the dog to take a piss on CJ so badly. It's all I want, dude.
Have you ever thought about, it's a fashion model, right? Maybe getting like a little red headband and then putting like a dress shirt on with only one button on and doing like a Cholo Chihuahua, you know?
It's not his
Have I ever
account,
thought of
man.
that? Yeah, you know what? I think about it all the time. What's wrong with him?
He's a stand-up.
We do a thing on this pod. It's called Brutal Questions.
Yeah.
Where
Is it time for that already?
well,
we like to open with it.
They're intermittent. It's not really a bit, I guess.
Are you tired of podcasting yet? Doing it for so long?
This one.
This
is-
one.
No, this one's great. Hey, I want to say I was very. I appreciate you asking me to come on because clearly there is no limit to how low you'll go in terms of, because you said to me while you were setting up, oh man, we've had some great guests. I'm like, yeah, really?
We have. We've got.
Have you?
Do you know Jeff Dye?
Yes, I know who
Jeff's
he is.
done our show.
Yeah, you've done. Those are real guests.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing with me.
Well,
but you could have gotten a real guest.
We like
You
to
could have
mix guys
The
in.
dog would have been more famous than me.
No, but we do. I think 68% of our listeners are in the States, which is crazy. Did you know
Yeah.
that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gone up huge since our
So who
last
have you?
couple
Jeff
runs.
Dye. Have you done Ben Bankus yet? Big
No.
Ben.
No, we
You
haven't.
know who Ben is?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
first comic I
he's
ever
played
booked
with
for a
Ben.
show. I paid him $150 like 4 or 5 years ago.
And where was the gig?
It was at Levity Comedy Club.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Ben, and this was so I was still doing a lot of stand-up. Probably from 2016 to 2022, I was doing it like I used to as for a living, 4 or 5 times a week, working weekends, doing gigs. And I ran into Ben, and you know, it's funny, you know this better than me, but Ben's whole persona has changed. Because when I first met Ben, he was a bit of a timid, no offense to chubby guys, I'm not looking at you, Dave, but he was a bit of a chubby guy, you know, a little bit of a timid, chubby guy. And then some number of years later, I just happened to catch him on social media somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea it got that big.
Did you catch
Not
him
just-
or
pardon me?
Physically?
Did you catch him or was it a human monkey hybrid?
It was not a human monkey hybrid, although I don't know what, is that a reference on your
that
show?
what he
That's
does?
one of his big characters.
Is that one of his big character?
Was being a Chinese chimp that escaped from Wuhan.
Okay, well, what I didn't realize was he had gone completely the right wing, super conservative, aggressive, even bigger guy now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I give him full credit. I'll tell you, like, not my thing, but I remember seeing him. Always thought he was kind of good, you know, nice guy, very funny, but like to get as big as he's gotten, that took some work.
He caught a wave at the right time.
Yeah,
Like,
the
we-
post-COVID rage wave.
Yeah,
That's a great way of putting it. Is that what he? So talk to me about that.
Oh, man, I don't know.
He doesn't want me to talk about Ben Bankus because I brought him up on a big show. We went on Dad Meet in the U.S. in Austin, and I brought up Ben Bankus.
He just says I'm like him, and I'm not like him at all. I don't.
No, I was just joking.
Well, you're not like him.
I was
You're
just joking.
like a third of the size.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
By the way, just for people who watch, like my daughter's dog is just loving you.
yeah, I think I might. I feel like I want to start scheming right now with this dog on me.
Yeah,
like, I
you
feel
guys
like
should
Bond
collab.
villain.
Like I want to. I need like
My
a
daughter will
plan
not
for
let
a
you take a
laser.
picture of that dog.
No,
You haven't got the kind of money.
Just
Seriously.
see if I can get a tag with her.
What do they call that? Influencer marketing, but they call it like partnershiping or was that-
Collabing.
Brand
Collabing or-
collaboration. Yeah.
like her collab fee is ridiculous.
No, we're not on brand with this dog.
no,
this
for
is
sure.
not on
we
brand.
can't do it.
Put an armband on.
Excuse
this
me,
thing.
I didn't mean to burp into your microphone. By the way, so this
Yeah.
drinking problem you have, Dave, let's talk about it.
So he's not drinking right now. So I'm
Was it
allowed to drink.
dry January?
No,
So
I have
he's
to
got
fight a guy.
He's got a
Sorry,
fight
what?
coming up.
I have to fight. I have to fight a guy. I have to fight a comedian, another comedian, Louis J. Gomez. He's the head of Gas Digital, and he started Skankfest. It's like a big comedy festival. So long story short, we went down to New Orleans. I snuck into the green room. I was not supposed to be there. I lied to a producer to try and get in. That got back to Louis. He found me in the green room.
Who's a friend?
Yeah, he goes, "You're my friend. You betrayed me." I was like, I thought we were acquaintances, so he put me in a corner and yelled at me, and then I got banned from the green room.
So Legion of Skanks is a big show in the States, and he went on Skank Court, and he was. They said that he had to.
Tony
show his
Yayo from
penis.
G Unit was telling me I was going to be banned from the festival, and so I had to pull out my trump card, which is challenging Louis to a fight.
Because they said he had to do the naked roast in front of 5,000 people at next year's Skank Fest, where you have to go up and be naked. So he wasn't going to do that, so he challenged Louis to a fight, and now he has to box him 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, and the main event of the first day of Skank Fest.
And by the way, I apologize.
We're catching you up, Howard.
No, but I'm a very seriously thing. I thought I had a known a thing or two, but this whole Skankfest escaped me.
Yeah.
So you're going to fight somebody at Skankfest?
Yeah.
By the way, when is Skankfest again?
November 13th to 15th.
Wait, like you're in training now for next November?
Yeah.
The guy he's fighting is extremely tough.
Yeah.
He's like a boxer,
Well,
comedian.
why are you doing that?
He's on steroids.
Because he's...
Because I had to, because I was going to get banned from the festival.
But had you appeared at Skankfest prior?
Sort of. I was there. I didn't appear on stage per se.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's like saying, "Hey, Howard, have you ever done Catch a Rising Star?" Well, no, but I've been there.
Yeah. Meridian Hall. Yeah, I've appeared
Done
there.
it. Actually, I had a gig. The last big.
You
gig
might
I
have done
had-
that.
Well, no, I had done the Danforth Music Hall.
Oh, nice.
Just a couple. Actually, so 2 Octobers ago, a buddy of mine was coming through town and he asked me if I wanted to open for him, and I said, "Well, it depends where you're playing."
Yeah.
Because the last time he came to, he was at Massey Hall. And I was like, "I'd love to do Massey Hall."
Yeah.
Because I never got to do it, even as a Yuck Yucks comic.
Was it Ron James?
No, it was Jeremy Hotz. He was a buddy of mine.
Fuck, that was my second guess too, man. Anyway.
Well, funny thing about Ron, who I just saw, say what you will. I know you probably don't like him because you're Skankfest.
No, do.
We love Ron James.
But
I'll
that's what
just
we
say
came
this.
up on. We came up on all the Just for Laughs. Like Ryan Belleville, he's
I
one of
love
my
Ryan's.
favorite comedians
Yeah.
of all time.
But a lot of guys, like a lot of comics, younger comics, that's why I don't mean to generalize, but a lot of younger comics, aren't really vibe with Ron because he's older and he's got this thing that he does. But I've watched him work. It's something else.
He's in Tommy Boy, man.
yeah.
That's great.
And as a stand-up, you got to appreciate that, like the amount of runs that he does, those verbal runs. Even though a lot of younger guys might think it's hokey, it's something to see in person.
Yeah.
And people, like his audience, fucking loves it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was going to say about working at the Danforth with Jeremy. So when I was younger, and that was a time back in the 80s when I did stand-up full-time, I worked with Jeremy a lot. And then I stopped doing stand-up and started doing radio. And then Jeremy's just stayed in L.A. and he became Jeremy. Jeremy goes across the country like a couple times a year, selling out 1,000 to 2,000 seat theaters. It's unbelievable.
And a lot of that's just off of the Just for Laughs, late 90s, early 2000s boom. Still, that like you said,
a couple
we grew
of
up
little
with that.
shows. Like he was in Speed.
Yeah.
He was in a show here years ago, a funny show called The Newsroom, CBC show, very ahead of its time. And but his audience, again, that's all that matters. Whether it's Skankfest or it's not. It's I think if your audience, if you can find an audience and they can vibe with you, then like I did. So that night was me, Darren Rose. We did I think I did 15. He did 18 before Jeremy. And I don't know if you've ever done a bigger room like that. You stand up in front of 1,000 people is the easiest gig you'll ever have.
Yeah, I've heard people say
40 people on a Thursday night is brutal. I won't do it anymore. It's
that's
too much
a funny saying I hear a lot of people is that you, as a stand-up comedian, you should start at arenas and then work down to open mics.
Yeah.
Because that's how like the skill level works, where like to get those guys at the bar shows that are watching a Blue Jays game who fucking don't care about you but hate stand-up comedy.
I find the whole thing an interruption in what they were. No, the thing about, and I came up through bars and then comedy clubs and then maybe a little bit bigger. Like I because of the radio thing, I've done some pretty big corporate events.
Yeah.
For a couple thousand people.
Good coin too, eh?
It's fantastic.
That's where you make your money.
as
That's like
far
a
as-
food truck business. Make all your money in the corporate.
Yeah, but I'll tell you,
Fat guy.
You'll never. It's a little bit of a false positive because stuff that gets like a mild chuckle in your act gets a big laugh.
Yeah.
Stuff that gets a big laugh, you have to stop.
It's an applause breaker.
Fuck, it's
yeah.
unbelievable. It's funny because my daughter, who's also a stand-up, who's does gigs around town, it's pretty funny.
In New York?
In here. My other daughter.
Okay. Wow.
That one in New York is funny in her own way, but my other kid is a stand-up and sketch person. Anyway, she came to see me do stand-up. She seen me do stand-up at the Comedy Bar in the little room, like 30 people.
Yep.
And then she seen me do stand-up at Yuck Yucks too.
Like
but
the train car room?
the little
or-
one, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And then
Cabaret
she
or
seen me do stand-up on a Saturday night at Yuck Yucks in front of a couple hundred people. But she said to me, it's funny, she's like, when I watched you in front of 1,000 people, it's like, oh, that's the reward for all the shitty gigs that you do. It is. It's like, I hope you get the chance to do it. I think everyone should.
I've done a couple theaters. Like I've opened for a few big New York guys. I did a theater opening for Lewis, who I'm fighting.
You opened for him. And
yeah,
what size was the room?
It was Princess Theater in Waterloo. I think maybe 350, 350
Well, that's a
people.
good size crowd.
And then I did Zoetic with some New York guys, and that was 350.
And so, did you not
400.
find that with 350 people, a mild laugh it's like
It's hilarious.
it's amazing.
You feel actually not sick, but what's the word? You feel like betrayed. You're like, what the fuck? Like this is what it's like to do it in front
No,
of
that's
this many
right, yeah.
people. Like I've been doing it in front of no one and I've been sucking,
Yeah.
and now I'm doing it in front of tons of people and I'm rocking and rolling. Like it's very jarring.
When did you
It
start
is.
comedy? What year?
1980.
80.
Wow.
Did you see like Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, those guys?
I was working at a comedy club in Vancouver. And,
I got a tag for you, Jim.
No, I was only 20, so he's the same age as me.
Okay.
And the comics I started off with, a couple of names you wouldn't know, but one name you would know is a guy named Ryan Stiles.
Oh, okay.
So Ryan's from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And Ryan was a pure stand-up, never did improv.
Wow.
And I remember him saying, I think this isn't for me. I'm going to go try improv. And I'm like, yeah, well, good for you if I can try improv. And then, apparently worked out okay.
Yeah.
I saw him do the Whose Line Is It Anyway tour
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, and it's probably the hardest I ever laughed.
Yeah,
at.
he's
so
super funny.
Yeah.
But he also grew up as a stand-up too, which gives you a different kind of stage vibe, I think. So I'm working at Punchlines, and everybody that would come through town to do, check this out for a reference, the Alan Hamill show.
Okay.
And it was the
that?
Alan. Pardon me?
What's the Alan?
It was a daytime talk show in Canada
Really on what? On
CTV,
CHCH?
and then after Alan was Alan Thicke.
Oh, cool.
Alan Thicke had a talk show, and everybody from Toronto would come to Vancouver to do his show, including Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey came to the club. Again, I'd only been doing stand-up probably about 6 months.
Wow.
But I'd never seen anybody get a standing ovation in a comedy club until I saw him.
And he was
20-ish.
Yeah.
Can
He was
you-
like a prodigy.
Can you remember the set at all?
No, here's what I remember. I remember all he did was impressions.
Wow.
He did Elvis. He did Wayne
De
Newton.
Niro, maybe.
All I know is that all of us were watching him, including Ryan. All of us were watching him, and I remember somebody saying, "There's nobody here in this club that makes the noise that gets a crowd to make that noise."
Yeah.
Because it's not like, you would know this, CJ. It's not like a laugh as much as it's just kind of an eruption.
Yeah.
It's like people are so fascinated by him, and it wasn't super funny. It was just fascinating.
Yeah.
And he did Henry Fonda. He could contort himself.
Yeah, he would do like Mikhail Gorbachev and shit because this is the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, and I lived in Los Angeles for a while in the 80s, like everybody else. And I remember hearing him coming back to do stand-up, and he wasn't going to, his whole thing was, I'm never going to do another impression.
Wow.
And but here's the thing. He was so good at 20, he could have just gone and been a Vegas comic for the rest of his life.
Right.
Rich Little status.
Could have had, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he sort of made a conscious decision that's not who he wanted to be.
I didn't know you lived in LA in the
did.
80s. That's fucking nuts.
Dude, I used to do warm-up. Check this fucking story out. I did warm-up for Joan Rivers.
What?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dude, so she was gonna
Yes.
she guest hosted Carson a lot.
And then she got her own show on Fox.
Fox, yes,
And
that's
for
right.
a while there, Mark Breslin, who I know a lot of people, have shit to say, but he was always good to me. And I mean, from the time I was in my 20s till recently, like 10 years ago when I started doing stand-up again, I went on some open mics at Yuck Yucks, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I don't know. I didn't want to he says, fucking call me. You can go on whenever you want."
So good.
But I was like doing like Tuesday night, and he's like, "You got wind of it." Anyway, Mark was the talent booker for Joan Rivers.
Oh, wow.
And he knew I was living in Los Angeles. I was doing Yuck Yucks in Canada and playing different clubs in the States. By that time, I was like 25 or 6. I would headline in Canada, and I would middle in the States. And I was trying to make my way. I never got on at the Comedy Store. I did Laugh Factory all the time. I did there was a place in the Valley called, not the Ice House, but it doesn't matter what it was called. So I emceed a lot. Being a radio guy, emceeing was easy
That's
for
the
me.
bag, yeah.
And so a lot of guys didn't like it. And I just always said, well, a gig's a gig. Let me on stage somewhere.
Yeah.
So Mark knew that I liked to MC and knew I was living in LA. And so when the regular warm-up guy for Joan Rivers would be on the road, I would go do it. And it was literally, I was living in the Valley. So I would drive to Sunset, where it was, like Sunset and whatever. I'd get there around 7:15. Show started at 8. At 7:30, I would go on stage in front of about 300 or 400 people who were from, again, back to our point about a bigger audience, people being all excited. Well, when you're in Los Angeles and you're from wherever the fuck in America,
Yeah.
and you're seeing Joan Rivers, I'm like, they don't know anything. They think I'm amazing. So I would do 15 minutes and just everything killed. Killed. Where are you from? Who's this guy? Jokey
Were you
joke.
doing crowd work back then? That
Crowd,
was like,
all crowd work in some material.
Right.
Because all I have to do is where are you from? Oh, I'm from Ohio. Anybody else from fucking, you know what I mean? It was just the easiest gig
Yeah.
ever. 7:45, I introduced the band. The band would come on and play for about 10 minutes. 5 to 8, I'd come back on and go, is everyone in a great mood for Miss Rivers? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'd say, okay, let's practice.
I'd love to fucking do
all
that.
that stuff.
Yes, thank you, Howard.
Like all that stuff, you know, let's practice your applause.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
hey,
not loud enough.
that's not
I love that shit.
doesn't say applesauce.
Yeah.
Like all that shit all that stuff from Larry Sanders. And then at about a minute to 8, I'd say, well, listen, enjoy yourself. Have a great time. Joan will be out in 60 seconds. The band would start playing. And I would walk by her. She'd give me this, the little A-OK. And I'd be in my car. But before she hit the air, I was in my car.
Less
heading
than an
back.
hour.
It was beautiful.
That's crazy.
How long did you do that for?
How long?
Yeah.
I don't know, off and on for a couple years.
That's pretty cool. Did you have a lot of interactions with her? Or?
Almost none.
Yeah.
Almost none. Although she had a little dog just like that one sitting on CJ's lap.
So
That doesn't surprise me.
That's the similarity. That's how
you and
Howard's
Joan,
been so
exactly.
successful is these little dogs.
So
just
the only
always got a little
interaction
dog.
I had was once I was petting her dog, and her assistant said, "You know, Joan doesn't like when people play with the dog." And I'm like, "I did not know that." Well, I'll stop that because I enjoy this gig. Then I got hired on a sitcom to do audience warm up, but the sitcom was in Montreal, where I had gone from LA to Montreal. I got a radio gig, and then some people that had seen me do warm up in LA found out I was in the city. They started shooting this fucking crazy American sitcom in Montreal. They were supposed to shoot it in Toronto. Studio fucked up somehow. So they're shooting it in Montreal, and I'm doing audience warm-up.
What was it on?
It was
channel?
on it was on syndication in the States.
Okay.
And it was with, you're not old enough to know this, but there's a guy named Bill Daly and Connie Stevens. Bill Daly was on a sitcom in the 70s or 60s and 70s called I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, yeah. Was it
damn.
the main guy?
He was the second guy.
Oh, yeah. Everybody hated that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all wanted the first guy back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
he like filled in after.
Yeah,
He
it was like
the
it was like an
Ashton
Ashton Kutcher. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
no,
Okay.
you're talking about
Oh,
Bewitched.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bewitched.
I know you're talking about Bewitched.
yeah.
dude. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
That's
Darren.
because it's our mom's
You're talking about
favorite
Darren.
show.
Yeah. Now, Andy's having another beer, or Dave's having another beer.
Yeah, there's a third one also.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's for the
I'm
ride
just
home.
going to drink 2.
No, I want you to drink them all, and then.
All right. Hey, if Howard wants it, you know I interned for Howard, right?
No, I don't remember that.
So you have to do what he says.
Was this
So
in,
good.
at the Edge?
No, this was at
he
the
wishes.
Wixon studio.
He
Oh, you
wishes
came in
that.
and interned for us.
I was there for maybe 3 weeks.
Where you were an intern with Wixon, not with the Humble and Fred
I
show.
started with the Humble and Fred show. Okay, so Phil, I
good.
believe, brought me in. I
Where
was
were
in
you going to school at the time?
Seneca.
Oh, I see why. Yes.
Yeah, so
You were a Jim Carr guy.
Yes,
I know who you are now.
yes. So Jim.
Yeah,
Carr-
were we nice to you though? I hope we were.
You were.
No, you were. We got in one tiff over.
How could we get into a tiff, Dave?
So the guy from 40 Creek came by,
Oh yeah, the booze guy.
and he brought a bunch of booze, and I went up
Special
to him.
booze.
It was nice stuff.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
It was like an
Real
80
booze.
cask run.
No,
or
I know it.
something.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Mr. Creek, I would love some of your whiskey.
Oh, I see. And I told you to just don't talk to the fucking client.
No, you're like, and I went to
Basically.
you. I was like, hey, you like that? I got myself a bottle. And you were like, that could have been my bottle.
that's not a tiff. That's just you being a
Yeah,
tiff.
but you
And then I like cried.
you left out the best part. The best part was you told the guy, you go, can you make it out for my uncle?
Yeah.
His name is Dave.
Yeah, I did say that.
When you said that. yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah. And so the guy
So
goes,
why did it only
Dave.
last 3 weeks?
Because Wixon said, I'll pay you to run this studio
And
for
did he?
me. Sparsely. Every once in a while, he would give me something. Hey, he did get me my only radio job, which was on 105.9 The Region. I was a swing guy on the weekends.
Nice.
And,
Billy.
and I was on the side of a bus briefly.
You were?
I was.
Very nice. Well, who were you with? Jim Lang?
I was,
and-
yes.
I got to give Mike credit. Mike is one of the go-getters, the go-gettingest of the go-getters.
For sure. He makes Dracula look thirsty.
Seriously, man. Like, he's unbelievable. He got me a gig. I don't know if you know this. Did I? You know, I did middays at the Region.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a crazy good gig. So for you people who don't know, it's a small radio station. It's a regional radio station outside of the downtown core. And for about a year, I voice tracked the midday show.
Oh, actually, I think I do remember that.
So I think my shift was 10 till 1 or 10 till 2. But all I had to do was intro and extra the songs I just voice tracked it.
Yep.
And then I would send the file in every day. And it would take me about between 15 and 20 minutes. Because all I'm doing is going, this is the region. I'm Humble Howard. Here's a promo. Here's another song. And I would do that in a 4-hour shift. I probably did maybe 7 or 8 breaks an hour, maybe not even that many. And I did that gig for a while. And they gave me not real money, but real enough.
Wixon's great at he always gets his hooks into somebody.
Oh yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
he'll always take care of his buddies. And
He's a very loyal guy.
Mike, you know what? You don't bat 100%. You're not Ted Williams, but you get a hit. You get a fucking base hit every once in a while off of these. And he's been good to me. Like I got hired by SiriusXM to work for the hockey channel, and I went in to do. It was just cutting clips. I forgot to. So the guy sent out the schedule. Whoever that was running. Do you remember that Joe? What's his Joe?
Yes, I know Joe.
Okay, so Joe was running Sirius. I don't know if he's still running Sirius.
Dave calls him Joe the cocksucker.
No, Joe is sick. No, Joe is sick.
He calls him that?
No. Joe is awesome.
This is a different guy.
No. Joe was awesome.
I messed up.
So Joe hired me. So Joe brought me in, and he was like, he passed me off.
Joe Thistle.
Yes, Joe
That's
Thistle.
right.
He brought me into a meeting with the guy who runs the hockey channel. And the hockey channel guy goes, "You're not pawning off another guy on me. I'm not bringing in anybody else." And I was like, I'm kind of in the middle of this thing here. And Joe's like, "Bring him in." Because we had a meeting. He's like, "I got something for you. Do this for a while, and then we'll find something else for you." And so the hockey guy was like, did not want me at all. So
Remember his name?
no, he had glasses. He was
Peter Burse. Peter.
No.
Yeah, I
You
don't
probably know this guy. He
Well,
was just,
yeah, we worked for them for 5 years, but we did it initially out of that studio over on 30th, and then out of here.
yeah. So he very, very reluctantly was like, "I'll bring you on. You can cut clips. Come in for midnight." It was overnight shift cutting clips for the NHL channel.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucked. But it was a radio gig, and I didn't have any other prospects.
So this podcast that we're doing now, what's this called again?
But seriously.
No, but seriously. And what is the tone of this? Is this what a normal
Honestly,
episode is like?
It kind of changes depending on who we have on. A lot of the times,
Like,
you'll
did you
have
guys
comics.
prepare questions, or should
No.
I ask you guys questions?
No, I wanted to talk to you about a couple things.
It's been defined by one of our favorite guests, Eric Andrews. He's a comic in Toronto, as
Really funny guy.
just guys chatting.
Yeah.
It's just guys chatting.
It's a lot of riffing and stories. It depends. We really mold to the guests. Like if a guy comes on and he wants to tell stories and just riff with us, it just depends on whoever's coming.
You got a
on.
cool Norm MacDonald story?
I worked with Norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So 2 things I'll tell you quick. I have a story and an observation about Norm. I could always tell, this was in the 80s when Norm was just another guy in the Yuck Yuck circuit. Norm was definitely one of the best, but he wasn't Norm yet. He was just a guy. And there was a couple comics I loved working with. One was Norm because, and you've probably heard the stories, Norm was one of those guys that no matter what was happening, whether the crowd was good or bad, all the comics in the club would go and watch his set. Mm-hmm. But, I was based out of Los Angeles. For most of the time, I was a Yuck Yucks comic from about 83 until I quit late 80s. And then off and on in the city, I would go and do Yuck Yucks. And then about 10 years ago, I started doing it again. So Norm would be the headliner, and I would sort of MC. And there'd be a couple of middle acts or whatever. But the joke in the circuit was you could always tell somebody who had worked with Norm the week before, because for the first couple of nights you started sounding like Norm. Just everyone started sounding like Norm. It's like,
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Dufferin.
Yeah.
But I went on the road with Norm, just a one-night gig, sort of north of Toronto. And it's funny, I've thought about this several times because it was just him and I in a car on the way to a shitty one-nighter.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much of it. It was just, again, I had a car. I borrowed probably Hotz's car. I used to stay with Hotz when I was living here, or I'd come to visit here. And I picked up Norm at some place, and we drove to Markham or some fucking place. And all I remember is this. It was a dance club that had a comedy night. Because in the 80s, every club that had anything, whether it was mud wrestling, they always had a comedy
It's
night.
like Club 54.
Yeah. Exactly. It was a club that had been a disco, And here's how bad as a comic, this will horrify you. The microphone or the stage was on the bottom rung. It was on the dance floor, and everyone was above us. Like the absolute worst physical setup for comedy. And then they're playing music and people are dancing, and then the DJ comes on and goes, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop the music," which everyone's going, "Boo!
Yeah.
Stop the
you,
music!
yeah.
This is bullshit!"
Yeah.
And now, please welcome funny Jewish guy from Moose Jaw. That's me.
Everyone's on pure blow.
They
They're
hate-
on the best
and
blow,
they're on blow
in
and
history.
fucking
100%
hatred.
blow.
Yeah.
And I get up there and just suck a giant goat dick
Yeah.
for 20, because whatever, you know what it's like. If you're being paid, you have to stay on for the
Yeah.
amount or you don't get paid. So I'm up there, just people are booing and throwing shit at me, and I go, "And please welcome from Yuck Yucks, the Norm MacDonald." And he gets up, and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And the only person that's laughing is me.
So good.
I'm laughing my fucking head off because Norm's just he's got to do 40 or 35.
Oh
whatever
my
it is.
God.
And he's just bullying his way through it. And I thought about that night. Like I wondered to myself, if that was like 85 or 86 or whatever it was. He became super famous pretty quick.
Yeah.
Weekend Update, Saturday Night Live. I've often wondered if those people, whatever club it was in Markham, if they ever remembered, like if they ever made the connection that the guy that they were chirping and booing became Norm fucking MacDonald.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he couldn't have been, again, very nice guy. Smoked a lot. I smoked in those days. But yeah, I used to remember that. You could always tell somebody had worked with Norm. Oh, I see.
That's
You were
hilarious.
with Norm last week.
You guys just chain smoking the whole way with the windows up?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny how one of my favorite things, and I don't know if non-comedians understand this, but one of my favorite things to talk about with stand-ups is the fragility of a room.
Right.
And I mean that, how fragile the room setup is for the success of any comedian, even if you're not that good. If the room's right,
Yeah.
and there's like I say, you made the point about if you're doing stand up in front of 1,000 people, even if you've only got 5 mediocre minutes, it's going to do well.
Yeah.
People are excited. You know, when I opened for Jeremy, they've paid $100 plus.
Yeah.
They're in a mood to laugh. They're not there not to laugh.
That's it. That's the thing. They're here to laugh.
They're here to laugh
Whereas-
because it's an event. Like I saw Mark Norman a couple springs ago over at the Meridian, and he sold out 3,500 seats.
Yeah.
Did twice in one night, and I love Mark, and I thought it was great, but it was the kind of set where in a comedy club it would have gotten this reaction.
Yeah.
But 3,500 people, it was like a tornado of sound. It was my point is the room makes a big difference.
I know what you mean. And I say this a lot when I do amateur nights. Guys go there with the mentality of, okay, bitch, make me laugh. Like they're not like, this is going to be a great show. They're like, let's
I
see
paid
what these
$5.
let's
Yeah,
see
I
what
paid
these
$5.
fucking guys have. Like,
You know, I would say, listen, there's lots of one-nighters in Toronto that aren't the Comedy Bar or the Corner or Yuck Yucks. Lots of them. I did a ton. Did the Cameron House. I did the Weed Room in the East End.
Yeah.
Lots of them. And sometimes you get people that are in a mood of encouragement, and you know they want the person to succeed. But a lot of times, what you said is true. Like they're just there to see some guy die.
yeah. That's the same as comedy contests. A lot of the time, it
Yeah.
feels like an adult talent show.
I
Absolutely.
don't love this bonding moment between CJ and Humble Howard here.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
Wait,
you're-
it's going to get better.
Let's talk about our craft. Shut the fuck
Oh
up.
man, I'm gonna ask him.
I'm not talking, dude. You shut the fuck up,
Dude,
You know what? Ever since that day with the fucking whiskey, I knew there was something about you. I knew there was something about you I didn't like. Back to the fragility of the room, because this is important. I'll give you a couple examples. I did a show, again, one-nighter at a fucking resort just outside of Toronto, Monte Carlo Inn or one of those fucking places.
Monte
Rama
Carlo
Inn.
Inn. You can
What is the rest of
Keep
the
going.
to the Monte Carlo Inn.
Monte Carlo Inn. So I go in the room, and it's, first of all, it's a converted convention room.
Oh,
And it's all circular tables. So that's death.
that's the, you
you
got
know
the
why?
neck crankers.
Why?
Well, because when people are sitting in a circle, they're not all fucking looking up at this.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's got those shitty kind of convention sort of lighting. So I say to the manager, first thing I say is, what about the lights here? He goes, well, they don't go any lower.
Yeah.
I go, well, this is going to be fun. And they're all sitting in a circle. And he says, oh, by the way, so I'm emceeing the show, and there's a couple comics. You know who I worked with that you would know that has become very big is what's his name? Ryan
Long. Ryan Long.
Ryan Long, probably.
Ryan Long.
Yeah.
I worked a lot with Ryan, lots with Ryan, and I saw him also get way bigger than not that I thought of, but you know when people check out of your lives for a couple of years and then you check back and you go, holy shit, Ryan Long and Ben Bankus are huge.
Yeah.
Ryan's podcast partner, Danny Polachuk. He just did
I know
our
Danny
show.
very well. He
Yeah,
just did what?
He just did
He
our
did
show.
our show.
Yeah.
I know Danny.
Yeah.
Again, Danny and Ryan were guys, and when I say came back to stand up, I moved here in 2016. I was living in the suburbs, and then moving here, all of a sudden I could go and do nights because it's 15 minutes away. Just stay on the Queensway, and I can go to Cameron House, a bunch of places. So I started going back, getting into the scene a little bit, and I started hanging around with Danny and Ryan. I did it. I'll tell you about it. I got a great Ryan story. So back to the convention. So the manager says, by the way, just so you know, we like to do a couple raffle draws.
Oh, God.
I said, no problem. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it between, say, the middle act and the headliner. He goes, oh, no. We like to start the show with that.
Oh,
I
my
said, excuse me?
God.
He goes, yeah, before you start your show, I'd like you to do the fucking raffle. So I've got to go up on stage. Now they don't know who I could be the guy working at the hotel.
Yeah.
I go, ladies and gentlemen, and I got to twirl the drum. Anyway, it was fucking horrifying. And the whole show sucked after that. My girlfriend at the time, she texted me. She goes, how'd the show go? I said, well, it started with a raffle draw, and it got worse.
That's crazy.
It went downhill from there.
That's wrong.
At least with a raffle draw, somebody's going to go, yeah!
you get one
least
person
pop.
stoked.
Yeah.
But I don't think non-comedians or comedy adjacents, people like you, Dave, who are like, being funny by association.
I always like to consider myself
Funny
a
by
radio guy, so I don't
association.
I always thought of you as a radio guy. I don't like you bonding with CJ over comedy. You're supposed to be a radio guy.
I've been doing stand-up longer than the two of you have been alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. You've been on the radio
Sorry,
since
CJ,
before
what
we've
were
been
you
alive.
saying?
I had a great comedy story, from a show where I performed. So I had a monthly at this brewery
Oh,
in
I
Burlington.
don't understand. What could that be about?
I had a,
Now by the way, everyone, Dave's drunk now.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to fight him. Go ahead, CJ.
I had a monthly show, and I remember the bar owners. It was at a brewery, and they were like, "We want to sell more drinks during the show."
Oh, yeah.
because when people go up for 20 minutes, no one goes and buys a drink.
Right.
They wait till after. And I was like, "Okay, what's your thoughts?" And they're like, "We're gonna do tequila time, so we're gonna play the song Tequila in entirety, and during that period, tequila's $4." And I go, "When are we gonna do it? Like at the start or at the end?" And they go, "Nope, right in the middle." And so I take the second guy, I bring him off stage, and then I go, "Okay, guys, it's tequila time," and they just play the song, and I got to stand up there, and I'm like, I don't know.
Wait,
what
you're
to
on
say.
stage, like,
Yeah.
dancing to tequila time?
I was
Basically
there,
being
yeah.
like, "Okay, and now it's $4. Everybody, high five! Yay!"
That's awesome.
Yeah, that place is out of business now,
Yeah.
by the way. So,
Thank God.
So
but funny enough, I left one of the tripods there after my last show there.
that's where it is.
And I swear to God,
Such
the Wes
bullshit.
Barker show on
God
January.
damn it.
That is such
Anyway.
bullshit. So I did a show with Ryan, a couple shows. Like Danny Polishchuk?
Yeah.
Polishchuk, yeah.
Polishchuk was doing his movies and stuff. And I remember him, he might have even been on the Humble and Fred show. When we were on Sirius, we were on the Comedy Channel, so we were sort of mandated, and I didn't mind it because I love talking about comedy, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, once a week, we'd have to have some stand-ups on. So I had a lot of them on, tons. Aisha Alpha, a bunch of people that were in the scene at the time. And Ryan, I got to know these guys a little bit. You know, you talk about being a radio guy. Most radio guys can't do stand-up because they're not funny.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who didn't know I did stand-up, when they would see me, they go, "Oh, Humble Howard." I get a little bit of pushback, like, "Oh, he's like another radio guy." But after a while, once you've done a few gigs with people, they go, "Oh, no, he's also a stand-up."
Yeah,
They
you
can
get
see.
legitimized.
Either you have that muscle or you don't.
He experiences that all the time with comedians when we go to like Skankfest or something, and people will ask him, they'll go, "So your brother's a comedian, but why do you do the podcast?"
People always say, "How come you don't do stand-up comedy?" To me,
They do say that.
Oh, do they?
Those,
Yeah.
it's
Do they really?
it's
They
one
do.
of the other. It's one of the
they
other.
do. I don't know why he's.
Hey, dude, it's as you know from being a comedy fan, like, there's no secret to it. It's just do you want it? You know, like I always say this about any performance, but there's a lot of people that are interested in it, and some people that are committed to it, and I've been both. So now I'm more of a hobbyist. But I went through a period in my life when I was committed to stand-up, and that's a different animal.
He
I've
hates
said it-
stand-up comedy.
I hate stand-up
Say
comedy.
again?
He hates stand-up
I've said it
comedy.
a million times, and on the show I've said it to Jason Ellis. Do you know Jason Ellis?
I do.
Yeah, we had Jason on the show, and he was like,
Isn't Jason got the long hair?
how come you didn't do... No,
No,
that's
he's
Jason
got
Allen.
face tattoos.
Jason's
No,
always right.
he goes, how come you don't do stand-up? And I was like, he's an Australian guy. He was on
Oh,
Sirius
okay.
for many
Yeah,
years.
okay.
And I was like, because I like freeform. I like this. I like the dance of radio, and
I get it, man.
This is what I like. Like,
And I respect it. I mean, it's not for everybody.
What happened the
And,
last time you performed?
somebody had a heart attack and died.
Did you make them laugh so hard that they left this mortal plane?
No,
Debatable.
it was just in Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
They were on Fent.
That was just an issue with the public.
Yeah, no. Somebody did have a serious medical episode, and then
So Dave's on stage and someone starts convulsing and falls out of their chair, and Dave goes, "Hey, what's going on over there? Is that a heckler?" And then someone goes, "Call 911," and Dave goes, "Call 911."
Well, that's the best.
Yeah, I did
and then
say that.
the guy goes, "No, seriously, someone's really hurt," and all the lights.
Do you
came
remember the
on.
bit you were doing that killed this person?
I don't remember, but I do remember that I left the stage, and then probably after the paramedics came in, 30 minutes later, the MC goes back up and goes, "Let's get Dave Bishop back here to finish his set." And so I went
He did
back up.
2.5 minutes.
Dude, I went back up.
Anyway,
Yeah,
airline food.
as I was saying before the guy died.
That wasn't the last time I did stand up, but that was that was
So how
weird.
did you like it?
I don't like the idea of like rehearsing something funny you thought of in the mirror and then trying to act like it's the first time you thought of it.
He sees
to
it
trick
as
a crowd.
everyone's
I'd rather
walking
just
up-
like riff with you guys and try and pop people who are
Yeah,
listening
no, I get it.
at
I mean,
home.
like everybody's different. I just heard I was listening to Louis C.K. on something, and he was talking about the way he creates bits, and he was talking about not really writing them
Yeah,
down.
I saw that.
Yeah, but people
Did you see that or?
But
No,
people
I'm not in the
misunderstood.
scene.
He was talking about like Seinfeld sits down every day and is writing longhand,
Yeah.
working on bits, coming up with stuff, refining it. That's not what Louis C.K. obviously writes some shit down, but he was just saying like either something happens in conversation and he'll take it up on stage and just try it out. But at some point he's got that joke somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a note or two that reminds him of the joke.
The guys like Seinfeld or Patrice O'Neill or Dave Attell or any of these guys who are at Louis C.K. at the height, like there's an art form to it, and I respect those guys and I love it. It's just not my favorite way to consume comedy. I like free form radio. That's how. Like
get it, man.
honestly, I loved the Opie and Anthony show, and I did want to ask you about this when you guys
Oh, the
got
Jocktober
in a
thing?
war with those guys.
Oh, it was great because they had been so used to shows not acknowledging them.
Yeah.
See the and by the way, I appreciate that you like them. They couldn't, and I'm going to say this. It's going to sound like a fucking asshole. They couldn't fucking. We wiped the floor with them.
Well,
No,
I
let me
loved-
finish.
I
Like
know,
they
I
were.
understand.
If we had been in New York, we would have been Opie and Anthony, except funny. Because Opie and Anthony, you know what was funny on that show? Jim Norton was funny on that show. But Opie and I'm sorry, I know I'm crushing your
No,
dreams.
No, he
Anthony
likes
was a
Anthony.
funny guy.
You like what?
He likes Anthony.
Anthony
he
was
hates Opie.
Anthony's a funny. Opie was a talentless hack.
Both of them were talentless.
Anthony's a very funny guy. He
okay.
is, and I
Dave-
I think you're a very funny guy, and I
no,
like-
but
Dave
I'm
likes
saying,
his more recent stuff.
No.
what his psycho.
he's gone off the
fucking-
rails.
Oh yeah,
He's
You
racist.
can't
but
wrap
I'm
him
just saying,
anymore.
like radio show to radio show, they couldn't hold a candle to us. And I rarely say that about our stupid little Humble and Fred show. So here's what happened with Opie and Anthony. They've been so used to Jocktobering
Yeah.
morning shows, and what most radio shows would do when they got. And for people who don't know, their audience would just flood their Facebook page with the most horrible things and fucking just hilarious.
it was
See, the
bad.
difference is, and this is a good little takeaway for you, CJ. I'm going to bring this back to stand-up. It's a little lesson I learned from stand-up. What we did to when Opie and Anthony's audience Jocktobered us, because we were on Sirius at the same time they were. And so they found out about us, and they did the whole thing. And what they didn't count on was us going, hey, this is fucking great. Yeah. And we started reading their Facebook posts. We started talking about it on our show. That got back to them. And to their credit, they respected it.
they admitted they were wrong.
And do you know that we went on their show?
I don't remember.
So they,
What?
fuck yeah. So they heard about it. They couldn't, and so we, we're getting tapes from people, we're getting audio from people, them talking about us, and it took all the air out of their fucking sails because they were like, well, these guys, they didn't say this, and they said no one's ever reacted like these two are, which is us being self-deprecating. Yeah, we suck. Of course we suck. Joke. Anyway, we arranged both of us. We were on their show at the same time they were on our show, and we had this sort of big session commiserating about all the fucking asshole bosses we had. And we told the story about having to go to our bosses. I said, we were talking to Opie Anthony. I said, our fucking bosses took us to New York. This is like late 90s, to sit in a hotel room and listen to you fucking guys.
I did listen to this.
And of course we thought you sucked, because we were like, what the fuck are we listening to these two idiots for? Because our bosses thought they were great too.
It's like watching a video of another guy fuck your wife, and she's like, "This is how you should do it." It's like, I don't like this.
By the way, I do like that.
Okay, well,
I've got a couple of videos.
This window.
And that other guy, by the way, Dave Bishop.
No, I mean, I think
that's
the
why
reason
you're
I went
fired.
to intern for you guys is because I was like, I loved Opie and Anthony. I was like, I really want to be like those guys. And you guys, I found you guys through them because I was like, okay, where can I intern in Canada that's even remotely similar? So you guys were like, it's funny that you say that. Like, I think of you as like the Canadian version of Anthony Cumia in the way of like, you're such a funny guy and so quick on the air. Like, he's so quick, and like, not to like
no, I know,
delve into it, but because I know you guys had heat, but like I just think you guys are very, very similar.
Like, I don't have a lot of regrets, and I'm not by nature a bitter person.
Yeah.
But it does irk Fred and I a little bit that, like if we were in New York, the way that our podcast would have taken off versus, the way it took off here, which is, when we worked at SiriusXM. Now, admit it, we're not as big as Opie and Anthony. We're not as big as Howard Stern. But in Toronto, when they hired us, we used to have these meetings, marketing meetings. We'd say, listen, if you're looking for subscribers, a lot of our audience would be the demo for you guys. People that, listened to us in the 90s are now looking for something different on radio. And they never got that through their heads, because every week we would get emails from people. I can't believe I found you guys again. Blah, blah, blah. I loved you, blah, blah, blah. And we'd show them to the people at Sirius, and they'd be like, yeah, well, we're not promoting you. And that's so, not that Opie and Anthony irked us, but the way we were treated versus the way they were treated.
Yeah.
But they had their gold
Different
geese.
company, too.
It's different. Well, yeah, you're right.
Like two different companies.
Different company,
Canada, SiriusXM was started because they needed CanCon, and it was
I
basically
know.
like, you don't understand. But they just like, those guys were making big money.
Oh yeah, and then again, that's we were definitely bitter about that.
Yeah.
So why I wanted to bring this back, the Jocktobering and the way we handled it, to something I learned in stand-up, and Anna, maybe you've learned it, and maybe other people would be interested in this. So I learned a long time ago, because I was never very confrontational. I know it sounds hard to believe, but I never got heckled very much.
Oh, okay.
Part of the reason I didn't is because my stage persona was pretty confident, but I was not confrontational. I was confident. The audience felt comfortable that I wasn't going to make them uncomfortable. But I learned this early on from watching, pros, and I noticed that the really, really good comics, when they got heckled, they would pause. Like the new ones or the shitty ones, as soon as somebody said something, they'd snap back.
Yeah.
They would go back right away. And sometimes it was funny, but a lot of times it just looked like
Reactionary.
that they were insecure.
Yeah.
And so I got pretty good at, if somebody heckled me, I would pause. And it's hard to do. But my first reaction was not to react.
Yeah.
To give them a chance to do it again. But because in any encounter on stage, and again, I know this is a long-winded explanation, any encounter on stage, no matter what happens, all the audience wants to know is, are they going to be okay in your hands?
Yeah.
Like,
Who's in control?
not only who's in control, but the thing that turns audiences off more than a joke bombing is a joke bombing and you making them feel uncomfortable. Lots of times I would be working on bits, and I'll get back to the heckling in a second. I'd work on a bit, and it wouldn't work. I'd say it, and I'd go, it wouldn't work. I'd go, hang on a second. And I'd go back and get my notebook and go, okay, either I fucked this up, or you guys fucked it up, but let me try it again.
Yeah.
That's all they want to know. Are we okay with you? Because they'll forgive you anything. They'll forgive the joke bombing. They'll forgive you making a mistake with the wording of it. And as long as you can demonstrate that no matter what happens, we're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I'm in control, and the control I'm in is of your emotional well-being, right?
Yeah, that's where Michael Richards went wrong.
Yes, he did.
I don't think he's ever said anything.
Wasn't
bad.
thinking about emotional well-being.
He was not thinking about emotional well-being.
Not
So-
at the guy in the top row.
So back to being heckled. One of the best responses I've ever gotten from being heckled is this. I was doing my bit. He heckled me right at the punchline, but it was a funnier punchline. And I said, hang on. Everyone laughed. I went, hang on a second. Got my notebook. And I went, what was that again?
Yeah.
And then you own the audience.
Yeah.
Because they can see that you're fine. They're fine. You're okay with somebody being funny.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much more powerful that is than reacting to the way that all those guys did with Opie and Anthony, which was to ignore it.
Yeah.
And it just got worse.
Yeah, well, you also had the ability to not ignore it because you're independent. Like if these guys in Utica or whatever on 95.3 the funny whatever,
95.3 the tit.
they can't do shit. They're not allowed to say anything.
That's right.
So you guys are you were like them, but
you're
just
right,
northern.
Dave. That's a very interesting observation. We were in the perfect spot.
Yeah.
We were working on satellite radio.
Yep.
We were independent. We were contracted to them. We weren't employees.
Yeah.
But it's a more powerful reaction to say, yeah, you're right, we do suck.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the thing about us fucking each other in the ass while our mothers watch, maybe that's a bit offside. But that's how we did it. Yeah, the things that the audience said
They're
on our
insane.
Facebook page was insane.
I just remember them basically going, "We were wrong to Jocktober these guys. They're
Yeah.
clearly not deserving.
Good
of
guys.
this." Yeah,
That's the other thing.
That's
every
funny.
other
only time ever.
every other morning show took down their Facebook page, not us.
That's crazy.
We not only left it up, we would read the shit on our show. They thought that was hilarious.
Dude, have you ever heard of this bit?
No,
it's a great
yeah.
bit.
Every October they would be like, "We're gonna pick
They'd
out
attack
these shows
a
and attack
show,
the shows."
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it was wrong. Like they even admitted it was wrong to attack these guys.
But if we had reacted like everyone else did,
Yeah.
it would have been relentless.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we have, but I'll tell you my Ryan Long story.
Probably
It's
about
so
10
good.
minutes.
Okay, it'll seem longer. So I'm working at a club.
Tell us a Ryan Short story. Sorry.
I'll tell you a very short Ryan Long story. So Ryan, I'd worked with him a couple times. Always liked him. Again, whatever he's become, I saw it in the early stages.
Right.
But as a comic, you can kind of go, there's like Ryan and Bankus. Like there's something about these
Once
guys.
they get into that groove in the earlyhood, they have one or two jokes that bang.
Yeah.
And then they fall out of the groove. They're trying to do someone else or something.
But it's always like there's no shortcut to this.
Yeah.
You know, as I explained, one of my daughters is doing stand-up, and I always say to her, you know, like, you're funny. I could show you some stuff. She's very funny.
Around here, she
Yeah.
can do my monthly show in Burlington if she wants to come out.
She is, she's good. Like
I
she's
thought you
very-
were going to say she's booked. I'm like,
No, she's good.
She's not
Like,
ready
it's,
yet.
It's weird as a dad because, you know, she'll run bits by me a little bit, and we'll talk about the mechanics of it. But
So I'm sucking this guy off, Dad. You're like, I hate this joke. I
No,
fucking
dude,
hate this
dude,
joke.
I'm telling you. So she's the opposite. She's a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
She does stuff in her act that is like so fucking foul about which one's the top, which one's the bottom. I'm like, no. She has a couple great jokes. One I'll fuck it up, and it's a really perfect joke for her because she talks about, even though I'm a lesbian, we use like silicone dildos.
Okay.
You know, which every dad wants to hear.
Yeah.
And she said, the joke is, I don't have a problem with the real thing. It's just I don't like what it's doing to the planet. It's like that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a fucking applause break
That's
joke.
great.
It's a great bit. But the first time I heard it, I was like, I don't know if I want to hear about her.
You just dildo echoed
Fucking
in your head
dildo,
and you couldn't hear the
fucking
punchline.
dildo this and fucking with dildos. Anyway, so Ryan Long and I are, I've done a couple shows with him. Probably had done a Yucks or once or twice. So I was familiar with who he was. You know what it's like on the road. You're like, oh, Ryan, good. We did a show a couple weeks ago. So Ryan, and it's at a a club in Cambridge. You may have even played it. It's a pretty good little one-nighter. But it's a very long, narrow room. It's kind of like the comedy bar, the big room.
Okay.
So it's all narrow, so it's not very wide. It's probably only like 30 people wide and 100, you know, 120 this
It's like
way.
a train car room.
Exactly. And there's no backstage. You basically have to walk through the kitchen to get onto the stage. So I come on, I'm emceeing again. I'm doing 15 off the top. And it's kind of going pretty good. at this point, I'm doing stand-up 4 and 5 times a week. So I've got stuff. I'm comfortable, and I'm pretty confident that I've done this before. First 4 or 5 minutes going pretty good. I can see it's a little bit not buying in completely. And then for the next 10 minutes, it just gets worse and worse. And I'm floundering, right? I'm sweating a bit. I can't understand it because this is stuff that's working every time I do it. It gets worse and worse and worse till the very end. Like there's no reaction at all. And I say, well, it's the only reaction I get is I say, hey, are you guys ready for your first comedian? Because by this point, they don't think I'm a comedian.
Oh.
They just think I'm some old man that
Like the
wandered
guy
in.
who booked the show. Yeah, and you
That's
just
right.
put yourself on.
They don't know what I am, but they don't think I'm funny. So I go, please welcome to the stage, Ryan Long. And Ryan comes up, and I have to walk, like the kitchen is literally just, I have to kind of, it's not even in the kitchen. I have to walk through the side where the servers are.
Yeah.
I'm
Order
still
up.
in the room. So Ryan is going, so Ryan's kind of walks to the stage, and I'm applauding, and the audience is applauding. And then I have to walk basically through the audience, and Ryan says, keep it going for your MC, Howard Glassman. And nobody keeps it going.
Oh.
And all you hear is this, Ryan clapping, me laughing, and Ryan laughing. Because it's literally nothing.
So good.
It's my favorite part of this, though. It's just me and Ryan laughing at the fact that nobody is keeping it going.
That's the
for
best.
Howard Glassman.
One of my best buddies just bombed on his show that he books, and he headlined it. And at one point, he looks over to me at stage, and I'm just dying laughing. And I'm the only one in the whole room.
Oh, yeah.
I'm howling.
Yeah, nothing makes other comics laugh harder than their buddies bombing.
Yeah. You also remind me of one of my favorite jokes from our buddy Naeem Ali. He's also the father of a lesbian. And he's a black guy. And he's like, man, I'm so straight. Even my kids don't suck dick.
That's
Like I
great.
couldn't make something that sucks dick. My daughter a lesbian. Like,
That's really funny.
I butchered it a bit, but
No, your Ebonics voice was great.
I actually toned it down.
I love it.
It's funny because this one, the youngest one, is who is the stand-up, and there's so much in my act about her.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's funny because she's done some stuff in her act about my ex-wife, who I'm still good friends with, but she hasn't. I don't know if she's got a couple dad references, but I have a couple of jokes in my act, like that show The Debaters.
Yep. She could do something about how she's got a radio dad. Like when you're like scolding her, you're like, all right, it's 8 o'clock and it's past your bedtime.
That's right. It's 8:15, 70 degrees. It's time for bed.
Yeah. You didn't clean your
You know what?
room.
I would tell her that, and she'd go, "Yeah, okay, whatever."
Oh, tell her a cool young guy. Told
yeah, I
you.
will.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, a really young, not that young. Anyway, I did a bunch of debaters. I did 4 or 5 episodes.
If you want to throw my name over to Steve Patterson, feel free.
I love Steve. So I did one of the shows I did was with me, and it was a guy named Pat McKenna. Used to be on Red Green.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, Pat. Good guy. So the premise was, what's harder for a man to raise, teenage girls or teenage boys? And so, when you do these things, you write a lot of material. I wrote way more material than I could use on the show.
Do you do it together too?
Yeah. Well, no. You sort of get the premise, and you have to write to specifics. The first thing is 2.5 minutes of this. Then there's a firing line. And so there is a little bit of like, before the show, you sort of get together with whoever you're debating, and when you get to the sort of the last section, whoever has the best joke, you sort of go, okay, that's a much better line. You do that. Or you might have a better line. They say, okay, no, you get that joke. But I wrote a bunch of material, some of which I used for the debaters, and some of which went into my act. And the joke about my youngest, she's very funny. She was even funny as a little kid. So the first one I'll tell you is it's a true story, but I've turned it into a bit. So I'm taking my daughters out for Chinese food, and we walk by, as we're parking the car, we walk by the car next to us, and there's a Chinese kid sitting in the back of his parents' car reading a math textbook. And usually I say that, I go, write your own racist bullshit there, but people kind of don't really get that. But I go, he's reading a math textbook. It's true. And as my daughters and I are walking by, I go, you see that kid? So that's what you guys should be doing, studying mathematics, not all this arts bullshit. I said, you better watch out. Spencer is her name. I go, because one day you'll be working for that guy, and without missing a beat, she goes, why, Daddy? Is he going to own a strip club?
Oh, no.
Which is a fucking great line. And but that's also a true story. I have this premise called proud or horrified.
Okay.
All parents are either proud or horrified, right? So the other one that I used to use this to close because it was such a good fucking punch. So, and again, she's living with me. I'm divorced, so I got my kids half the time. And she's upstairs here. She's a lazy little shit. So I come do the show, and after the show, I come in and say, hey, Spenny, it's time to wake up. We got to get going. I got to take her somewhere. She goes, so I leave the room, and as I'm walking away, she goes, "Daddy." In my act, I pretend that she sounds like Cartman. She goes, "Daddy, can you make me some lunch?" And I say, "Yeah, she sounds like Cartman." That gets a laugh. And I go, I can't make you lunch now, honey. I'm busy. And without missing a beat, she says, "What do you mean you're busy? All you do all day is, fuck, I fucked it up. All you do all day is."
Humble Howard, everybody.
Wait. No, I got it now. Fuck, it's so funny. I've done this joke 1,000 times, and I just forgot the punchline. She goes, "What do you mean you're busy? All you do all day is nap and jerk off." And that gets a big laugh.
In front of an open window.
And I can end on that. And then I'll stop and go, I walk into the room. I go, young lady, that is disrespectful, and it's untrue. I also drink and get high.
Yeah.
And then if I don't end on that, I'll say my last tag is, "Who naps and then jerks off?" What are we from Montreal?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that makes people laugh.
I agree. You got to jerk off before
they do
you
things
have a nap.
backwards
Yes,
in
correct.
France.
But it's so funny that I've done that joke. Honestly, I've said that out loud hundreds of times, and I forgot it. Nap and jerk off.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear from your child.
Howard, what do you got to promote?
Oh, listen, really only the Humble and Fred show these days. If you could have people go to Spotify, Apple, all these things. Just look up Humble and Fred. We're into our easily our 2500 more episodes.
God damn, it's
I
crazy.
know, it's a lot.
That's wild.
I'm a very old man. How old are you?
31.
And
36.
just babies.
Yeah.
Just fucking. I have my other daughter, the one that owns that dog, is 31.
Oh yeah, how's she looking? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
She's looking all right. What do you want? You know,
I was looking to upgrade.
Dude,
I tell you what. When we stop recording, I'm going to tell you the most horrible joke that I've ever said out loud. Okay,
I love it.
it's really, honestly, yeah, it's about pedophilia. But whatever.
Incestual pedophilia. CJ.
Man, January 31st, come out to Nickelbrook Brewery. Message me for but seriously though, discount code. I've got one set up for the pod listeners.
Where is that?
It's at on Mainway in Burlington.
Yeah.
It's a good spot.
Great spot. 75-seater. Always sells out.
I took it off a guy who now he's the amateur booker at Yuck Yuck, so I can't get booked on Yuck's amateur.
Who's that?
Dan Brennan is his name.
Okay.
He's my
It's his
worst
enemy.
enemy.
Scotty, what's his face, still doing lots of stand up out there?
Falconbridge.
Yeah, I like Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of levity stuff.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He does the amateur night a lot.
Okay, and at on the 31st, who's going to be there?
We have my friend Owen Yaz headlining, a young guy who's popping off
He's
online
popping.
right
All
now.
right.
Yeah.
James Cummins, also known as Jam Easy. He's a Mississauga comic, really funny. And Gavin Coscarella, my other buddy. He's from Oakville.
Okay.
Gavin's great.
So very
And then
funny
how
guys.
long will you do? You're going to host?
I'll host and I'll do 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Longest I've done is 36.
Yeah.
That was
And
That's good, though.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it?
4 years.
Well, if you can do 30 with, like, consistent 30, then that's pretty good.
I do a lot of crowd work.
he's like the crowd work king. No, but seriously though, merch. Check out CJ's shirt, hats. Everything's available. Go to the link tree, Instagram. Give us a follow, like, and subscribe.
I'm going to put this shirt up with the rare famous dog's dog hair on it. It's going to be $300.
And if an old man's, slipped by the brewery for a couple minutes, would you?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, anytime
please.
you want.
For sure.
Huh?
You got to bring out that little daughter of yours. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. Whenever you like.
Me and daddy
For
daughter
sure.
time.
It's a Saturday,
Daddy-daughter
Saturday
time.
night. It'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully it's not. Keep it going for Howard Glassman.
No, we got Sean Cullen next month. It's
I like Sean a lot.
Sean's great.
Ryan Belville's
I like
headlined
Ryan
it.
a lot, too.
Yeah.
Those are good guys.
We've had some bangers.
You're
All
a
right.
banger. Guys, hey, all jokes aside, not that there's been that many. Thanks for having me on your show, and appreciate you coming down here and doing it with me.
Oh,
Thanks
love
so much,
it, Howard.
dude.
Thank you.
This is really fun.
No, but seriously though, peace.